So, are you okay with the possibility that you're going to live this life alone and die by yourself?
I think about that often.
Well, it's not because you have to. Your standards are just far too high.
Hey, yo, what did you do today to put yourself in better place? Ooh.
How are you?
I'm well. How old are you?
I'm 37.
All right. Are you single or are you married?
I'm single.
All right. So the question I'm asking today is how important is sex in a long-term relationship for you?
A 9.
A nine. Okay. Um, where does it rank amongst protection, provision, and character? Which is more important?
I would say character is more important because you want to make sure that the person that you're intimate with has a good, moral character and isn't sleeping around and treating people bad and doing things that, without integrity.
Uh-huh. And then sex comes next.
When it comes in my relationship, yes.
Okay. Do you make enough money to take care of a man?
Not to take care of a man, but to take care of
Well,
myself, yes.
well, no, we said long-term relationship. Okay. Long-term relationship, meaning your husband. So if you rank sex as a nine, you say character is number one, sex is nine, then protection and provision have to come beneath that. So by definition, you got to take a man who is better in bed than he is at protecting and providing. And I'm cool with that, but that means you got to pay for it.
Mr. Samuels, I can't pay for a man to treat me right in bed. And I'm not
But
even
then
going to
treat
front like
yourself
I
right.
was.
Well, but see, man, but see what I need. Do you have any children?
No.
Okay, so ranking sex so high, no human being can get it all. So, is it more important that you said the sex is a nine? Fine. Do you expect to get a man who has high character, the high ability to protect, provide, and high sexual satisfaction?
Can I be honest? At 37, I don't have it yet. So I guess not.
But do you want to have any children one day?
I would like to, but at 37, if I don't have a child by 40, no.
Okay. Would you like to be married?
Yes.
What would be your reason for wanting marriage?
I would say for companionship, lifelong companionship, to have someone to be with when I'm
For
60
lifelong
plus.
companionship, you can buy a cat or a dog. You can buy a parrot. I'm not being funny, but I'm really not being funny. But a husband is a role. Okay. And at 37, companion is not a role. Were your mother and father married?
They were.
Do you have any siblings?
Yes.
Are your siblings married?
One of them is yes.
All right. Well, I always like to ask to see where relationships, like when you were growing up, what was your healthy, functional, loving relationship model? What was that? What relationship is the relationship model or ideal for in you?
I would say a traditional marriage,
No,
mother
who? But
and
who? But
father.
who?
Oh,
Who?
uh, my uncle and aunts. I had two sets that were married, and I would say were the traditional Huxtable black love role model for
Do they
me.
live in the same city?
No, they didn't.
So, due respect, you didn't really see what they did.
I guess the day to day, no.
Okay. So what was your day-to-day or on a consistent basis relationship model?
I would say my day to day would be watching my grandparents, and that model would be like The Fences. You remember that movie with Denzel Washington?
You were raised by
It
your
was more,
grandparents?
that was
You were
basically it.
raised
My
by your
mother,
grandparents? You were raised by, I'm trying to understand, were you raised by your grandparents?
no, I was raised, my parents later divorced,
Okay.
and I was raised by a single parent, my mother, and her parents mostly raised me.
Fine. And what age were you when your mom and dad divorced?
I was a toddler.
Okay, so when I asked if your mom and dad were married, the implication was they were married during the majority of their life. So in the future, I wish folks would just say they weren't married because
Okay.
you sound like most of our community. You don't have a relationship model, and that's fine. When you think of a feminine role model ideal, who's your black feminine role model?
My mother.
Well, okay, who's your black feminine role model from the public? Because no one can know your mom.
Oprah.
Okay, Oprah is everything but a feminine woman. She is about as masculine as they come, and all this makes sense now. Oprah Winfrey is the original feminist. Where does feminism and femininity line up to you? Good conversation, but I'm just trying to
Well,
understand how that line up.
okay. Okay, so when you say femininity,
Yes.
and I feel like,
Hmm.
that's something that African American women haven't really allowed to be.
Bullshit. Dorothy Dandridge, Diane
And
Carroll.
and and and, and
Excuse me. We've had plenty. You just don't choose to model after them because you call them weak. Ma'am, I'm 53. You're 37. I live in, come on now. Black women, y'all got the strong, independent black woman moniker. That's what black women champion. You don't champion Coretta Scott King. How about that? Everyone know Coretta Scott King. So you say Oprah. So let's take Oprah. And anybody, men automatically lost their shit when you said that because Oprah is like Darth Vader on this side. She is quite the opposite. And she's Darth Sidious. Okay. Then I asked about the human beings learn through watching. So we didn't grow up watching healthy, happy, functioning mothers and fathers in the household. So we had to make it up. You say your grandparents, it was the closest, and then your aunts and uncles, but you don't know what that is. Then I say before Oprah, you said your mother. Is your mother remarried?
no.
There you go. Feminine women have men. Do you understand why I say that?
Yes.
So how can you have a feminine role model that doesn't have a man?
Mm. Well, when you say it like that, I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
So it makes more sense when you rank atavistic, primitive, no offense, but attraction and sex. Very baseline primitive things, I mean, so high. Then I ask about a man's ability to protect and provide. You're like, well, if the sex ain't good enough, it doesn't matter. How about you pick a man who has good character, can protect and provide, and he's average in bed at best. And you're a feminine wife to him and you serve him as your leader.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No,
Um,
no, I know there's nothing wrong with it because other communities do it. But why your face said something completely different? Would you get up in the morning every day raring to go to get with a man who's average looking, average in bed, but he had good character and protect and provide. Yep. And you can't cheat. There's no watching porn. No, that's just your man. And you got to praise him.
That wouldn't be my choice. My choice would be to have someone, close enough to the total package, someone who is able to provide everything as
You're
well as
not the
being.
total package. No offense, but you're not the total package. Nobody
No
is.
one. Okay.
So what men often want to know is why do y'all get the total package when people like how tall are
5'4",
you? Dress size.
6.
Okay. I always ask this question on a scale of 1 to 10. Where will you rank your face? Fresh face out of the shower, no
Ooh,
makeup,
ooh.
your natural hair.
My natural hair, fresh face, I would say a 6.5. 6.
I'll give you a 5, 6, average to cute. And see, the thing is, average is what most people are. Average is what most people are. And putting on your makeup, you can be cute, but no one is ever going to accuse most women of being model beautiful. And you're 5'4", dress size 6. How much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
152.
I said we've been at a dress size 8'10", but we keep on moving. Don't down this hill. I'm an image consultant. I style women every day. Let's keep on moving. If Did you go to college?
Yes.
What's your degree in?
I have a bachelor's in psychology from Virginia State University, and I have a master's from Bowie State in human resources development, human project management, and I'm a IT project manager.
I cover my mouth because psychology is one of the professions that tend to lean worst against black women when it comes to relationships. So I have all these archetypes I'll be breaking down. The psychology is one of those professions that men of value, especially higher, tend to avoid for a lot of reasons. And I've talked about this for several years, but as we keep on going, psychology, you have a bachelor's and a master's. So, and you live in what state? Virginia?
Yes, currently.
So are you making more than 6 figures, less than 6 figures?
Right at the
Okay.
cusp.
So what percentage of men make 6 figures or more?
I just relocated from DC, so I don't plan on staying here. But
Okay.
according to, your studies, what's that about? What, less than 5%?
Percent of men make 6 figures or more?
Um,
What percentage of men make 6 figures or more? That's what I was asking.
oh, I would say what about 3%? If I had to say.
No, first off, it's not my studies. It's not my numbers. It's the numbers. Anybody can look them up on the Department of Bureau of Labor Statistics, Department of Health, the census, or you can go to blackdemographics.com, black statistics for black people, by black people. See, one of the things that grinds my gears, especially for the educated intelligentsia class, we act like numbers when it comes to this kind of stuff is just voodoo. But we're okay with degrees and masters. So it's not my numbers. Those are the numbers. So 10% of men are in your tax bracket. But you say you don't rank a man's ability to provide. But do you want him to be making roughly what you're making?
If I'm being honest, I never said that his ability to provide was not important. I would say that's definitely high on my list.
Well, what are you willing to compromise on almost 40 years old?
I'd be willing to compromise on physical appearance. I'd be willing to compromise on him being a divorcee or
You cut out. You cut out. You cut out. Ma'am, you cut out. You cut out. You cut out. Your audio cut out. Your audio cut out for some reason. I don't know what you're doing. Hello? Yeah, my audio's still up. So turn off the Bluetooth on your phone.
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
So you'd be willing to compromise on him being a divorce?
Yes.
Are you on Bluetooth or speakerphone or something?
I was sitting in my car. Yes, I am sitting in my car.
Okay. Okay, you'd be willing to compromise on looks, him being a
Yeah.
divorcee? Yeah,
Him having other
turn
children.
the volume down a little bit. We're getting feedback because I guess it was connected to your car and now it's coming through your speaker, so there's a little feedback.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
I'd be willing to compromise on the looks. I'd be willing to compromise on him having or not being successful in relationships in the past. I'd be willing to compromise on him having other children, and perhaps not. Let's see, being so like having a glamorous look or lifestyle.
Glamorous?
Yeah, because I say that because like a lot of men, aren't as I would say as refined as yourself. You have your sweatpants and your jeans wearing men versus, the suit and tie.
Okay. Well, let's start with the top. You'd be willing to compromise on looks.
Yes.
Okay. You mean you'd be willing to accept somebody below average?
Yes.
Okay. Women have always had to compromise on looks because you're supposed to be the attractive one. And if you're average or cute, he's supposed to be average to below average. That's normal. You would compromise on him not having relationship success. Neither have you. You would compromise on him not living at your level of your lifestyle level. Because let's be real, a lot of women choose men based on lifestyle. Okay, well, if you want a man at that lifestyle, they want something, and they typically want younger women that have kids. So, are you okay with the possibility that you're going to live this life alone and die by yourself?
I think about that often.
Well, it's not because you have to. Your standards are just far too high. You're choosing a man based upon things that men can't. A man's character. But if I presented a man to you who had solid character and was even sexually in bed, he was a 7. And I don't let people use 7. A 7, maybe even not an 8, 7. Close, but not going to get everything you want, but better than average. But if he was an average earning man, earning $45,000 a year, thank you. So, ma'am, you're too old to be demanding too old because you earn too much to be demanding a man up there. The men where you are want something for their money too. And if most women like as accomplished as yourself, as put together as yourself, if he can meet your standards, that means he can meet a whole lot of other ones. Why does he need to pick you? So I got to ask the question, why could you not accept a man who's average? As long as he's able to take care of his bills. He ain't living hand to mouth, he's just fine. Why is that not okay?
I'd say because I grew up watching my mother struggle, so that's something that I never wanted to do. And
He's not struggling. He's
mhm.
taking care of himself just fine.
May I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Now, you said a man making $45,000 a year, right?
An
Now,
average earning man in this country. Yes.
now,
The average black man in this country earns 42,000. The average white man earns 51. The average between those is 45. These men are not homeless.
I
So,
wasn't
man,
homeless making
it
45,000,
does. But
but
my point is the top. You're talking about the great. Okay, you can want what you want, but the numbers are just against you. So go ahead, because if money is that important, then it's not wise for women to wait to your age and your income to be trying to choose a mate, because the men aren't going to go with it. He's not going to compromise either, and he doesn't have to. You wouldn't compromise, neither is he going to. The difference is he has more options than you do. And the things you're talking about really aren't the measure of a man. You're talking about lifestyle. You want to be able to go to Ruth Chris or Mastro's or something, when most people don't do that. And that's fine. But what is life going to look like when you're 55 years old, socially? You're at the peak of your career, peak of your earning. What does life look like at 55 years old, socially?
I would hope to still be very much active in, the community, in church, and hopefully maybe raising children. I would be having teenagers, I would say, at 50.
The way you're going right now, man, you're not going to get married. The man you want is in the top 10% of earners, top 10 or top 15%. Guys like the video that Average at Best. Have you seen that video?
No.
There's a video that kind of started this whole movement. I talked to a woman who was 35 years old. There's something going on with your phone. I'm hearing background, but I'll work through it. There was a woman I talked to who was 35 years old. She was a business owner. She lived in Carolina. She was making in excess of 6 figures a year. The only difference is she had a 13-year-old son. Big difference. And she wanted a high-value man. That 23-minute video is what launched this whole platform, because I had to tell her that the men that you want something for their money. Have you ever dated a man earning more than you? Seriously.
Yes.
Do you have men earning more than you right now, seriously vetting you to be their wife?
I actually just ended my engagement about 6 months ago.
Okay. How long were you guys together?
Off and on for 10 years.
And he earned more than you?
Yes.
And why did you end the engagement?
Sex. I wasn't happy
You
sexually.
can't
If
make this up,
I'm
folks.
being
You can't make
honest.
this up, folks. Ma'am, die alone. I mean it, man. Die alone. 10 years a man invested in you, and you left him because of sex. Die alone. You had options. Sir, if you're listening, do not take her back. I'm being honest. It's not cool, man. 10 years a man invested in you, and you invested in him.
Mm-hmm.
And you ended it over something as trivial as sex.
Would you like to know why?
No. I
Okay.
know you had 10 years, and I know you ain't going to, the chances of you finding somebody on his level or higher is infinitesimally small. But women today feel like because they can get attention and or sex that they can go replace a suitable man outside of sex. Did he have good character?
No.
No, man. I don't buy that. I don't buy that one because you said you ended it because of sex, not because of character. I've been doing this too long. So, did you think by ending this that you were going to be able to find someone else to replace him as good or better?
Yes.
Why did you think
I mean, our relationship wasn't perfect. There was,
none of them
drama.
are? That's what a
Right.
relationship is. Big Mama, you know how many people have gone to funerals and find out they got a whole nother family somewhere? Relationships are problems.
Hmm.
I guarantee if I had him, he would tell me that you're a whole problem. But I'm asking from a business or logistics standpoint, why did you think the market was full of six-figure men who would be interested in marrying a woman like yourself?
I guess it's wishful thinking, if I'm honest. But I mean, I didn't think there would be men just falling at my feet. I
Of
mean,
course.
I'm just,
Hmm.
you know.
But it was enough for you to get
Right.
rid of something that you both were in for 10 years.
I think that we both deserve to be happy all around the board.
Fuck
And
your happiness. Relationships aren't about happiness. Marriage is business. Happiness is why the black community is dying because you women bought this feminism, independence, happiness, Disney shit. And you got The Color Purple and Waiting Takes Hell playing on the big screen in the back of your mind when every other group of women will get with their men and make it work. Where in the marriage vows, where in the Bible does it say, are you a Christian, by the way?
um, I was raised in the Christian church.
Did you plan on having a Christian ceremony when you get married with the Bible?
I would, go on what my faith would be at the time.
I'm not playing games, man. I'm just
Okay.
asking.
Not definitely, probably 9 times out of 10.
So, convenient Christian. And my point is, man, even just from a logistics, you're getting older. You've been in a situation with a man for 10 years. What man men aren't really keen to deal with women who have that kind of imprinting on them. And why is this conversation important? Because women need to hear that scrapping relationships, hoping to find something, grass is green on the other side, is not smart. Because you didn't go from one to another. You went from something to nothing on a hope. Well, if you get what the hope is empty, what does life look like for you if you don't get married and you have no children socially at 55 plus?
Probably, very lonely.
Oh man, that's more likely than not. 1 in 4 black women will already marry. I mean, you're already 37, man. So you're 2 years into geriatric pregnancy. If you met a guy I didn't make the turn. If you met a guy today, even 6 to 12 months, if y'all were married, you'd be every bit of 39 before you would have a kid. Most OBGYNs tell women to stop trying around 42. And at your age, it's not uncommon to have to use IVF. These treatments are $12,000 to $25,000 per treatment. Do you plan on, if let's say you did get married and had a kid, would you plan on going back to work, or would you plan on staying at home for the first several years?
Go back to work.
After 13 weeks with your newborn, you're going to turn it over to somebody else. Okay. How much is newborn care? Do you know how much that is monthly?
I would say probably close to $2,000.
So $24,000. Okay. How many kids would you like?
2 at the most.
Okay.
And
So
I've
you,
considered IVF, so I mean, if I
well,
chose that
with a husband or without one?
without one, because I've definitely weighed that option as
Oh,
well.
so you're crazy. So you're crazy as shit. So you already know the statistics, but you're that selfish to decide to become a single mother. Wow. Guys, I swear to God, I didn't make this up. I didn't pay her. And I'm glad you're being honest, man, because you know the odds on a child being raised as a single parent, right?
The odds of
The numbers are far worse. Kids do better. If you decide to have a child, man, it'll be purely for selfish reasons.
I'd agree.
So you be basing raising your children solely based upon your income. So you'd have to put your child in a daycare, and who would assist you with raising this child if you
That
did
is the last
IVF?
resort.
But all this made more sense than to marrying the man you were with for 10 years.
Yeah.
Did you really think through all of this?
Yes. I wasn't happy. I'm sure if I wasn't happy, I'm sure he wasn't either.
Well, and that's the problem. I could give a shit about happiness. And this is my point. And you may not agree with me, but modern women are so selfish. You guys, happiness is paramount in all things. And you'll do whatever you have to do to make yourself happy. Leave a stable relationship, become a single mother, and then when it doesn't work, you guys don't take accountability. But I got a question before we leave. But you've been very honest. I appreciate this. But I've got a couple of questions. What state does this continue to leave the black community in if we continue to have 80+% of our children born to single mother households?
A terrible one.
But
Awful.
I get that. But can you honestly say that you really care about it? Is it a concern of yours? I mean, I know you care, but where does the overall black community or rank in your decision making? Is it just paramount, or is it just an afterthought, or what?
Where does the black community rank? I
Yeah, you
mean, of
know,
course, being a black woman, I want to see us prosper in every arena. You know, our families, our careers, our businesses, our everywhere. And,
okay.
it's unfortunate that, over the years, you know, we've been separated from what we should have been.
We haven't been. Black women have. You guys are doing this, not us. So all the things you said sound good, but I got a hard question. How do we do any of that with women like you?
I'm a product of my environment, Kevin. I mean, I didn't have,
Ma'am,
I didn't,
ma'am. I'm a product of my environment too. But how do we do that with women like you? It's women like you. I'm not saying you. I'm saying women like you. How does the black community move forward?
I want to make sure that when we answer this question that we cover all bases before we go. Because you're saying women like me. So a
Yes.
woman like me who chose to to be independent
Mhm.
is
Yes.
a detriment to the community.
Yes.
Because, see, the first time,
So, okay, but before you didn't answer my question. How do we move forward with women like you? We can get into it, but I'm asking, how do we do that? Don't dissect what I said. How do men move forward with women like you?
I'd say by working just as hard as we are.
You have a choice to leave or go. You're free. No one can make you do anything. You're free. How do we work with women who choose to leave?
But I mean, I can't answer that.
Yes, you
I
can.
can't.
Yes, you can. Because the community needs to continue. We need to continue to have families and children. If men want families and children, they have to get with what?
Childbearing women,
And have what?
sex.
Have wives and families.
Right, right, right.
Right. Oprah Winfrey and you, we can't do that with. So what do we do if we need a black community? What do you tell the black men who want to build a black community and have black families and black babies? When women like you and Oprah and all the other independent women are on whatever you're on, cool. But what do you tell the men who want something different? Because you said you care about the black community, having businesses, families, and so forth. We're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
But you need willing women. Women like you, fair to say you're not as willing as we need. What do we do with women like you?
Put themselves in positions to lead.
How about we just go get white women or non-black women? How about we go get women who want to be with us of any race and then make babies? See, the problem is the answer you don't want to give us is you think you're our only option and we're just supposed to
No.
bend over. No, ma'am. Your answer is ultimately waste your time, black men, and try to fix. Excuse me.
What
No, ma'am.
was
No,
the
excuse me.
difference in?
Excuse me. Don't. No, that's not what we do right there. We don't. We don't just tell a man to continue to try to get a woman who doesn't want to be a wife down the aisle. The fair thing is, with the black community, man, fair, be fair. We've been doing this pretty well. Will the black community continue to move forward if a black man marries a Hispanic woman, a Middle Eastern woman, an Asian woman, a white woman, and they make babies? Will the black community continue to move forward? Will we have families and children? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes
No.
or no?
The answer is no. I mean, we
Why?
can
Why?
ask
Whoa, whoa,
Kanye
whoa,
West
whoa, whoa,
that.
whoa, 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 whoa. We will have families. You will have a black man with a wife and children. Is that not a family?
You
Uh,
repeat that for me, Kevin. I
A
want to make sure.
black man with a woman, even if she's from another race, but they will have children. Is that a family?
That is a family.
It's a black family because
It
the
is.
children. All right. So if we want to build a black family, we have to have willing women to be wives and mothers. For whatever reason, far too many women are independent. That's fine. But we need to be able to tell the men who want families to stop trying to figure y'all out and get y'all down the aisle and go ahead and tell these men, get you somebody else and keep the black family going. Is that more important than the black woman? That's the question. And then we could do your question. Is that more important? Is the black community continuing more important than the black woman?
No.
You can't
I
make it
can't
up.
say.
Then you make it. And this is why I tell you guys, sell out the femininity, because at that point you're always going to be a hostage. They don't have to do anything. It's getting worse, and they just want you to waste your time. Ma'am, you cannot put black women above the black community. Please tell us how you put black women above the black community. And then I'll answer your questions.
Who is the head of the black community when you really think about it? When you think about over the
Ma'am,
last 25, 30 years,
okay, ma'am, no,
it
this
is
is a
the black
mono. This is
woman.
no, it's not. No, it's not. The black woman has ruined the black community. Prior to 1965, we were made at a rate of 80%. Jim Crow, segregation, slavery, we still had a community, we had church, we had family. All it took was feminism. Jim Crow slavery, chattel slavery could not wreck the black family. All it took was one generation with feminism in college to fuck this community up. You are free. As soon as you got your freedom papers, did you decide to stand by your black man, or did you decide to take the benefits for yourself and become independent? Fine. Black men have adjusted. But how can you put black women's solo interest above the black community's survival? No one's saying don't be you or Oprah, but you can't how do you put that above the survival of a people?
I guess I just hold black women that high. If I'm going to answer that question, I just feel like, we've made it happen through everything. So without us, the black family will definitely come to an end.
No, it won't. We carry the spark of life. We'll still be a black community. Matter of fact, it'll be better because then we'll have women who want to be with us, stay with us, and build families. Not have women who want to top men. You want to be on top from the bottom. But you were honest. This is the deification. This is that queen energy. We don't owe y'all nothing. We owe the community. We owe ourselves. And if y'all don't want to be here with us, that's fine. Live your life, travel, do whatever. And then once you go to dust, we'll be moving on down the path. Do you think if black men stopped mating with black women, the black community would cease to exist?
No.
Then y'all better start acting like it, because that's what's happening to you. Because without us, who's rushing in to marry y'all? Is Brad, Lee, Ahmed, and Enrique lining up to take over what black men leave behind? Who y'all gonna marry? IVF? These are good questions, man. You gotta admit, these are good questions. You got something on your mind? Go ahead and ask.
I'm scared of you. I know
No,
better.
no. I mean, don't have to be. Okay, we have to have these conversations because so many sisters feel like you that the answer is really, well, if I'm not ready, you should still wait till you find a black woman. But under no circumstances do you just give up on black women and get a non-black woman. Man, we die before y'all. We die more often. We die sooner. We don't have time to wait for y'all to decide y'all want to be our wives. We don't have time to wait for y'all to decide y'all want to be our partner, to be the mothers to our children. Maria can make fried chicken. Becky can make macaroni and cheese. Oh, you don't think so? University of California, Fresno. Go look at the Black Masculine
Oh, I
Studies.
believe it.
White girls are getting booties. The biggest advantage black women had was physical. They're coming for black men. And y'all act like, and I want you to understand, y'all act like black men have to just stay beholden to this bullshit. And your attitude, or you're not an attitude, but your point of view is so rigid to where black men just need to just keep trying to figure out the combination. We're not your property. And we're not second-class citizens in the black community. We're independent too. Y'all have forgot who actually runs shit around here. I don't belong to you. You belong to me. You belong to me. You heard me. Let me say it again. You belong to me. The kids belong to you. I belong to God. We report up. And your bucking eyes, and you look confused, go look in your Bible or whatever thing. I don't belong to you, woman. You belong to me, woman. Why is that such a hard concept? What you gonna do about it? If you don't want to belong to me, fine. Let blonde hair, blue-eyed, flat booty Becky come in here. She'll be just fine with it. Let Maria come in here. I Poppy, she'll be just fine with it. Let Mayling and Marisol and Jamila come in here. They'll be just fine with it.
May I say something, Kevin?
Please do.
If I found a man that offered everything that, or I would say 75% of what I really wanted, I could conform. I'm tired of having to lead. I'm tired of having to be masculine. I want to be feminine. I want to be led.
So what you just heard is chameleonese, the conditional femininity. That if a black man were A, B, and C, then I could rest in my femininity. I'm tired of having to lead. No, you can't get a masculine man because you're too masculine. That's why you got to get men, you got to lead. Masculine men won't accept masculine women. But I tell you what you do. You want to know what you do? You treat the black man like you treat their white job or their white university or their white paycheck, and we got no problems. Put as much respect on our name as you put on that PhD or the MBA or master's or your bachelor's. When I asked you what you got, you stood up loud and proud and ran off your credentials.
From Virginia State and Bowie State, yes, sir.
And you'll die, and they won't give a shit that you were there. Key, joke's on you. They got your money. You might as well be on the plantation because you by your damn self. But that's y'all's pride now. Y'all are more proud to have Virginia State, blah, 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 than Mrs. Robinson. Joke's on you. Even the feminists didn't buy this shit. Read the book Subverted. And this is why younger women aren't listening to women your age, because they don't want to be in your position. Because you may have educational accomplishments, you may have money, but you don't have what makes people happy: family, relationship. And ain't nothing you can get in those books or those jobs is going to do that. And the question is, if you could find somebody to give you 75% of what you want, what makes you think you're 75? How do you know you're 75% of what the kind of man you wants in a woman? Maybe the problem is in the mirror, not the man. Is that a new concept? That maybe there's something on y'all side that needs to be fixed?
I don't know, Kevin.
I'll say this now.
Because see,
go ahead.
you aren't really getting to see my personality through this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking that, these are more your thoughts versus what it actually is.
You ain't special, man. I talk to you every day. I could take you and plug you into hundreds of other conversations I've had for 3 years. Start watching my content and you'll see you're a lot more. And that's the problem. Y'all think y'all all special. You're not. That's why I can complete your sentences. That's why I can ask you questions 3 moves ahead, because I know you. See, I had to grow up with black women. We had to learn y'all and understand y'all. Y'all don't know us. But if black men were so not what you want and not up to par, then why do you have a problem if the average black man moves on with a non-black woman to keep the black community going? Y'all don't want them.
I never said I had a problem.
But I said, how do we move forward with women like you? And I said, what if you get a non-black woman? You said, no. And that's the point is, y'all do want us to stay.
I love black men, by the way.
We can tell by your actions. I think it's funny that black women say this stuff like we really believe this when y'all's actions show something different. Usually, when a black woman says, I love a black man, a tirade of insults is not far behind. See, we know y'all too well. And that's what's messing with y'all right now. The men are finally speaking. And they're telling, because we grew up watching y'all as mamas, our aunties, our cousins. But the more important thing is, you said who's leading, right?
Mhm.
So if a man needs to lead, he needs a woman that's going to follow. It's more important that a man who has a woman that's following. Does it matter what race she is?
No.
Okay, then. So if a black man can lead a non-black woman, why can't he lead a black woman?
That's a great question.
So when I ask you, how does we move forward with women like yourself? What's the disconnect? If black men can lead non-black women, because that's what one of the biggest concerns is when you get on, you leave your ass for a white girl. Well, if you can lead a non-black woman, how come we can't lead you?
That I don't think that's the problem.
Well, you know what? Okay, what is the problem? Be
See,
honest.
I think we got off topic, Kevin, because the
It's all
initial
the same
question
topic.
was, what did we rate sex in the relationship?
Yeah, but that's fine. Yeah, but you also said you ranked character higher, and we showed that wasn't true. The topic is relationships, and the topic is the truth. If black men can lead non-black women, why can't he lead black women? Let me ask the question another way. When a black woman is with a white man, does she act the same way with the white man as she does when she's with black men?
See, I think that's just a question about compatibility. More or less, can he lead? If you're compatible.
Ma'am, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of test cases of black women who are with black men in public, and then they've got with white men in public. Are you honestly trying to tell us that treat black men and white men the same?
I would not know. So I wouldn't say one way or the next, Kevin.
All right, what's your guess, man? What would you guess? Since I don't need you to know each and every individual, but
Okay,
you know,
but
you got Serena Williams, you
I
got
would,
Eve, you got I can name countless women.
I can
Lonnie
guarantee
Love, Lonnie Love was with an out of work painter. Would
one
she be
of
with an
the,
out of work black man that she met on ChristianMingle.com? She ain't even Christian. Come on, man, let's not play games, because if we really want to get somewhere, y'all gonna have to start being honest with yourselves and with us. And when y'all don't want to be honest, well, I can't speak for everybody. That's not me.
well, one of the initial things that we talked about was the examples I had growing up. So I do believe that you treat your spouse based on based on the roles that you saw growing up. So if a man wasn't raised in an African American household, he's not going to treat his African American wife the same as an African American man would treat his African American wife if he grew up, traditionally in an African American
What
household.
does all that mean? What does all that mean? That's word salad. The white man's not growing up in a white household,
That
so he
you're
treats a black woman different.
based on your role, based
Well,
on
let me
what
tell
you
you
saw
something.
growing up.
According to the data, black men make the most involved fathers of all races. According to the data, black men are actually better in relationships because we grew up with women. That's why you got non-black women rushing over here because we weren't raised in the patriarchy like they were. We're more willing to listen to our women where their women just get told what to do. See, you have been raised in a culture who told you that we were beneath you and substandard to where you've even believed it. Then why are non-black women striding in and strolling in to get black men if we're so goddamn bad? Crickets. According to the CDC, black men make the most best involved fathers for very reasons. Man, you have fallen to the propaganda that black men ain't shit. And you got to live with the fact that you lived that for most of your life. Whether you acted on it or not, you heard black men ain't shit. Well, if black men ain't shit, why are non-black women rushing to get the top 10 or 15% of black men if they ain't shit?
I'm still trying to get me one, Kevin.
You had one for 10 years and you left it.
He wasn't my person.
Who told you you have a person?
Adam had Eve.
Convenient Christianity people. Remember I asked if she was a Christian? See, your godfather's too good for this shit. See, they cannot understand that they put themselves in their own trick bag and their ego is too goddamn big to realize they screwed themselves. Humble yourself, man. Adam had Eve. You ain't no Eve. But you were with a man for 10 years. You were with a man for 10 years, and according to you, you left him because of sex. If that's the case, die alone. I don't know why women think y'all have an unlimited supply of men the older you get. When most women would have just said, this is good enough. Black women, you better get used to good enough or dying by yourself. Black men, you don't have to be supermen to get these women. Sell out to femininity, gentlemen. You deserve better. Ma'am, you could be feminine. Y'all could do everything I'm asking you to do, black women, before you have done. Under worse circumstances. But the reason you can't is because you the man. Or women like yourself, Oprah, all this other shit. Y'all the man. Cool. But ma'am, it ends with you alone. It ends with women like yourself alone. Maybe not you specifically, but the odds are very high. And you're only here because whether you like it or not, you can see that it's more likely true. Why is it that as a black woman's education and income goes up, her marital prospects go down?
I would say because the men, like you said, aren't on the same level.
54% of black men are single and childless, 61% in the middle class, 2.5 million black men in the upper class. Black men are out earning and outpacing black women in every outcome metric. We are above your level. The average black man earns $6,000 more than the average black woman. Yet you have $40 billion in student loan debt. You have bought into the bullshit propaganda. You ain't better than us. But y'all still on this on your level. You're right. We're above you.
I never said that though, Kevin.
You said, I said, why when a black woman.
I never said that a black man, I'm better than a black man.
But I said, why when a black woman's education and income goes up, her marital prospect goes down? And instead of saying she's more difficult to deal with, she outprices herself from the market, you automatically went to the men as the problem. The problem ain't the education. The problem is the chick. Why, as a non-black woman's income and education goes up, her marital prospects don't decrease at the same rate as a black woman? Obviously, it's not the income or the education. It's the woman. What I'm showing you, class, is that black women's default for all the reasons why things don't work is the black man's fault. And they don't even recognize that they're doing it when they do it. It's just the default answer. It's like a multiple choice test. C. They just keep marking C. C. Made me 37. You were with somebody for 10 years, right, wrong, or indifferent. You got 10 years of imprinting on you. If you don't get back with that man, which, dude, if you decide to get back with her, make her pay. Make her pay. But if you don't get back together with him, cool. Where's this man gonna come from? And don't go out and be a single mother with IVF, because I'm telling you, you can't say nobody told you. If you do decide to do it, when you see a black man walking by with a little blonde hair, blue-eyed wife, and little tan babies with good hair, you should, good thing for you, Mufasa. Wish I could have had me one. Come on, Alexis. Let me make you a baby mama too. Let's get our matching Chanel flippers. Let's go out to brunch. You can be strong and independent like mama. I don't have to live this way. It's a choice, man. You don't have to be alone. But there comes a time, man, to where you will be alone. This, as funny as back and forth, I think this has been a really good conversation for a lot of people. Thank you for keeping your composure. I think, but we need to have these conversations because at the end of the day, we all y'all got. We're the only product y'all got to buy in mass. I didn't like Brussels sprouts as a little kid. But you know what? My mama kept putting Brussels sprouts on that plate, and she knew eventually you eat them. Mm-hmm. Brussels sprouts was on that plate every day and today I love Brussels sprouts. You better get your Brussels sprouts. Whether you like it with bacon or maple glaze or whatever, you best start eating Brussels sprouts before you just have water to drink. Bye.
Good night.
That was a good conversation. That was a good conversation, y'all. Hard, but good conversation. You can't top that. You can't make it up, man. Again, 10-year relationship, she left over sex. Maybe give somebody something to think about. You know, it's not to be funny. It's to be honest, man. We get rid of each other for stupid reasons. And then when you have to say them out loud, they don't make a lot of sense.